Hi, he's David.
And he's Doug.
He's a ghost.
And he's a freaking nightmare.
And together we are...
Tootie!
So yeah, we just saw Crimson Peak, latest film by Guillermo del Toro, featuring Mia Wasikowska, Tom Hiddleston, can't remember the other lady's name, and
That other guy.
Charlie Hunnam. That's the one.
No Matt Damon this time.
No Matt Damon, although we haven't seen that one because we didn't do that one.
Can't swear. Okay.
So, Liam, would you like to start us off?
Yeah, if you don't know who Guillermo del Toro is, you've been living in a box, but he's the guy who made Hellboy and stuff, and
Pan's
Labyrinth. Yep, not to forget that. Well renowned for his models and stuff. But Crimson Peak, we starting with positives?
Yeah, we always start with positives.
It was like, I didn't expect it to be kind of horror aspecty, but it really worked in its favour. Like, I was expecting just kind of like, oh cool, this will be an interesting film, and then it was boom, scared ya. But it does it in a way that you're not like, oh no, I'm scared, jump scares. No, it's like, no, and it really gets to you. And I think that's a positive, because it's rare that horror films can make you feel like, I don't want to be in the cinema right now.
Yeah, I'll have to agree with this. Some people have criticised this for saying that the ghosts are somewhat inconsequential in this movie. Like, if you took them out, they wouldn't have actually changed the narrative. But I think having the ghosts in there, like, as a flavour was, like, really cool.
I think it worked well.
Yeah, they were, like, incidental, so, like, they're almost their own side thing. And just the way the ghosts were presented in this was absolutely fantastic.
Beautifully modelled. They look so real at points and creepy as hell.
There was some really good use of CGI. Like, it's one of those cases where it really wouldn't be possible to do it in traditional ways, like models or like projection effects or something like that. It had to be CGI for this. Yeah, because there are probably purists out there going,
it was so good.
It was really well done CGI.
Realistic and creepy as hell.
Yeah, and I believe some of it was practical. I'm pretty sure at least some of it was practical.
Like the models, like close
yeah. Either way, the ghosts throughout this film are fantastic and presented really well. As Liam said, there are a couple of what I might call jump scares, but they're nicely built up to, and there's a huge BAM kind of noise that comes with it, which I think is a little unnecessary at times, but that only happens twice. Every other time when there's ghosts involved, that it's pretty tame, not tame, it's like pretty restrained in that whole thing, and it's just, it's all sorts of creepy. And it starts off on a horror aspect, on like that ghost horror thing, and it hits you with that, and it as a starter, and it really draws you in, I think.
Like I said, I went to the cinema not knowing it was a horror, so it was interesting to go, oh wow, scary bits here.
Although we could have probably guessed it, knowing the director, that the guy's got horror pedigree, but I don't think we expected it to be as close to the horror benchmark, like full horror genre as it turned out to be. I would also like to add that it was absolutely wonderfully filmed. Just gorgeous.
Colours. Them colours.
Yeah, in fact, that was one of the first things I noticed. There's scenes in this where it's like America, and everything has this weird kind of sepia, almost sepia tone. All the colours are lovely and warm. The yellows are vibrant. Browns feel earthy, and wood is wood, wood coloured.
And even whites, they're not in your face, they're just kind of a comfortable white.
Yeah, it's cozy, and
it's like being at home. Everything's good for her.
Yeah, and later in the film, when you get to the sort of not Elizabethan, the sort of like turn of the century England setting, even then when it goes really dark and gothic, at no point is the colour desaturated or anything like that, or does anything like that happen.
They're quite vibrant, actually.
Yeah, all the blacks are perfectly defined. All the little nooks and crannies in this huge house are just so well filmed. There's not a single bit of it that's lost to shadow or a single bit of it that pops out too much. The filming in this, the set design, just the visuals in general is just fantastic. And having the full colour gamut on display is really nice. I don't know if this film was made in HDR, but it certainly feels like it. Seeing the sheer volume of colour in this film, particularly for a film of its ilk, is really something special for me. So, like, the visuals were fantastic.
I really liked the use of insects and moths in this film.
Yeah, that's...
Like, they never played an extreme role, but their existence and being there made it really interesting.
Yeah, that's the thing. Throughout the film, there's this, like, recurrent motif of butterflies and moths in the film,
like,
and insects.
It's like they're underlying the bad things. Like,
Yeah.
They're almost like an omen in the way they're portrayed.
Yeah, they're not, like, super plot intensive. Like, they're not a plot point, but they're just sort of there, and they're an interesting little motif
And it's
that's
just
there.
really filmed well around them and stuff.
Yeah,
Nice.
they are great. And I'm going to have to say, this is the best performance I've ever seen from Tom Hiddleston. Everybody goes, wow, Tom Hiddleston is Loki. That's fine, I guess, but I just wasn't too impressed by him as Loki. But, God, was he good in this film. He was really good. It was like, you don't ever, like, not until the end do you ever really understand his true motives, and it's like, you don't quite know what's going on in his head. It's all...
Yeah, when I first saw him come on screen, I was like, oh, it's Loki. But as you watch the film, you go, that's not Loki. Like, he's an actor, and he's good at it. He lost the role of that Loki for me. He's that guy now. Or at least he can be different people to me now. He's not just Loki. There we go.
That's what you were going for.
Because some actors get stuck, like, I look at Daniel Radcliffe and I don't go Daniel Radcliffe, I go Harry Potter. But he's managed to break the Loki thing for me. He's not stuck in one role.
Similarly, Mia Wasikowska, when she came out, she almost came out of nowhere in this film. She has this very pale, kind of doll-like face that really worked for this film. And particularly with, like, she has these really delicate little gold-rimmed tiny little spectacles in this film. And they were like they really worked. So, like, when she put those on, she was suddenly believable as this, like, not demure. She's a bit feisty in this, but this sort of quite believable, like, semi-sheltered writer who's, you know, just trying to get by in turn of the century America.
Yeah. And obviously, because she's a woman, everyone's just like, oh my god, you can't write, needs a love story, man. And she's like, nah, me.
Anything else? Anything else on the, like, stuff that's not spoilers?
Character development works well.
Yeah, I'm gonna say that.
The more you watch, the more you understand the characters better. But even then, towards the end of the film, you're still like, so what was, motives thing again?
Yeah, like, again, some people have actually criticised, like, one of the characters just doesn't seem to have an arc. That didn't bother me so much. It was, I'd rather not go into it because that's kind of spoilers. But I'm gonna say I'll divulge it. Like, some people have said that the main character in this film doesn't really kind of go anywhere as a character, but I'm sort of okay with that. It's more a thing that happened to her.
Yeah.
A documentation of a thing that happened rather than some kind of big journey that was set endpoint.
Yeah.
Anything else?
I think that's it for positives for now.
Yeah. Oh, I'd like to put a little thing. This was filmed in IMAX, so its native aspect ratio is probably 1.44 to 1. But when we saw it at the cinemas, it was something like 1.7, 1.8 to 1, or something like that. Seeing it in an aspect ratio like that was nice. Seeing it without the modern, like, super wide screen thing, it was nice with that, in that aspect ratio. I liked it. It just super wide ratios is a thing that kind of gets me.
Yeah.
It's a tiny thing, but yeah.
Okay. Can you think of any negatives?
So, on to the negatives.
As for negatives. Okay, negatives.
I'll start
Okay,
then.
you start, yeah. Let me just...
I do have one, and that's Charlie Hunnam's character does a very weird thing, like towards the start of the film. His character is shown to have an interest in photography, particularly photography of ghosts, and he shows the main character that he's made a special kind of photographic film that will allow you to take pictures of ghosts, and that's a very nice, that's a very interesting little plot point. It's sort of proto Ghostbuster, and his character in this is really nice. He's like this sort of like trustworthy doctor person who's just looking out for Mia's character. I'm afraid the names aren't coming to mind so much, but yeah, he in that one moment, that Edith, that's the one. Her name is Edith. But in that one moment, that photography element is never addressed again. It's like it pops up for a moment, and then that plot line just disappears. Like, it's trying to set up a plot point, but it just doesn't go anywhere.
Then it's kind of glazed over. I mean, she doesn't seem surprised by it at all, and neither does he. It's just like, oh look, there's dead people in these pictures.
It's kind of like, is it a thing that he knows that she sees ghosts? And so he's saying, look, I've found... I'm not sure whether it was to show that they're good friends, or that he believes her, or whether this is just a separate coincidence.
It's kind of interesting though, but it
was interesting, but I can't understand why it was never picked up again.
And why they're not shocked about it. Like, I'd be like, whoa, that's really creepy, but they're just like, oh, cool, carry on with lives.
Yeah. Anything else now?
Not without going into spoilers now.
Not without going into spoilers. Okay, let's see. Nope, I got nothing.
Ba-da-da-da-da-da.
Which brings us on to the verdict. Stick around for the spoiler discussion, where we'll be diving into all the little details that we liked or didn't like. We always try and keep our spoiler section as unspoilerific as possible, whilst discussing certain specific parts of the movie,
which we liked.
But right now, we're doing our
verdict.
Our verdict. That's the thing. And so, Liam, your overall thoughts on it?
I think this film was beautifully filmed. The colours were great, and the storyline works really well. I go watch this. That's my opinion. I give it a 1. Go see it.
I heartily concur. It's one of the most beautiful films I've ever seen. When I get a 4K Blu-ray player, I'm going to be champing at the bit to buy the Blu-ray of this, and I don't care if it's going to cost like 30 quid. Like, I need this in my Blu-ray collection.
Like, even when the credits were rolling, we were sitting there in silence, like, just watching. It's just
The credits are beautiful. Even the credits in this are beautiful, man. But I say, not only that, but fantastic performances. Jessica Chastain is fantastic. Tom Hiddleston knocks it out of the park. Mia Wasikowska raises her own personal bar way higher. And Charlie Hunnam, who previously I thought was possibly the weakest part of Pacific Rim, his character in this is a lot better in this. He as this dude. He just works in this film. Music's great. It's a fantastic piece of cinema.
Everything.
Yeah, it's a fantastic piece of execution for a wonderful, creepy story that's kind of a love, kind of a horror. It treads between lines, and it's just refreshing. Really is.
Guillermo has not done it wrong. It has done it justice.
Yeah. And so I heartily give this one, bringing the grand score to 2.
Go see this film. In cinema if you can, because it's definitely worth it.
Oh yeah, just, don't be that guy. Don't be that guy who watches toilet quality pirate streams.
It will not do this film justice. This film needs to be in a good quality because it is beautiful.
Yeah, I mean, I'm actually going to go on record in here. Ask at your local cinema what resolution they project at. If possible, find an IMAX cinema. If not, find a cinema that projects at 4K, because the cinema we went to projects at 2K. And it was gorgeous then. Imagine how gorgeous this film would be at 4K or beyond.
It would be beautiful.
Yeah.
So yeah, see this film.
And on to the spoilers. 3, 2, 1.
Spoilers! Spoilers! Get ready for the spoilers! Deal with it.
You ever been warned?
Yep. 5, 4, 3, 2.
There's incest in this film.
There is incest in this film. There's lots of creepy shit going on.
Oh boy, yeah. This is a spoiler bomb, but yeah, there's this.
Someone gets stabbed in the face. I'm sorry, that needs to be said. It's grim.
Yeah,
it's grim.
Do we want to lead on the stabbing in the face bit, or
just carry on? Do what you do.
Fair enough, but yeah, there is incest in this, as well as the ghosts, and there's a brother-sister relationship in this film between Tom Hiddleston's character and Jessica Chastain's character, and their names being Thomas and Lucille Sharp. This weird brother-sister relationship. You don't ever know what's going on between them until the very end, where you find Tom Hiddleston and find the two of them in a bed, one of whom has their hands deep down the other one's trousers.
Yeah.
And that's quite a powerful moment in the film.
It's a weird thing to see. You're just like, what? And then you see the girl's face, and it's like, oh, that's your sister doing that. Cool, good.
Yeah, it's
plot twist.
It's a pretty. It's not so much a plot twist.
Yeah, you can kind of see it coming with the undertones and the way they are
you can
together.
kind of see it coming with undertones, but oh man, is it a weird and interesting twist?
It's really good for the story. It does well for it, even though it is incest.
It works, trust me. Which brings me on to your point. Do get stabbed in the face.
He gets stabbed in the face, and it's proper just and he's like, oh no! And then he's just like, I gotta put it out. And then he dies. I'm not gonna say which character it is. I almost spoiled that pretty badly, but some dude gets stabbed in the face and dies.
I'm pretty sure everyone can
it.
work out who that character is, dude.
I don't know. If you haven't seen the film, I could be on about anyone getting stabbed in the face.
Well, at this point, it's the spoilers, so
I know,
we're kind of...
We gotta be careful, though.
This is the spoiler section. Here be dragons.
Here be dragons.
if you're watching past the spoiler section, Good on you.
Oh, and some guy got his head like bashed in on a sink, and it was really graphic, and you could see him there with like a collapsed face.
Yes, there was some really good violence in this
Yeah.
film.
And it was just, oh man.
Like, it was violence with weight, impact.
Like, if you've seen Pan's Labyrinth and you see that guy getting his nose bashed in with a gun and stuff,
Ugh.
it's a similar sort of level of that. It's just, ow, that's violent. You just, ow.
Yeah. There's one, I suppose it's a more subtle one, spoiler I'm going to go for me. But one scene that particularly stood out to me is when Lucille is sort of nursing, what was the character's name?
Edith.
Edith is sort of nursing Edith, and is like, we know that Lucille is the bad guy at this, is part of like a bad
you figure it
thing.
out, like she's kind of doing stuff too.
Yeah, like at this point we know that there's a big thing going on. But there's this bit where she's talking to her and saying, I fed Mother in this bed, I nursed her back to health in this bed. All the while she's doing this thing with a bowl of porridge where she's scraping the spoon on the side of it, and it's really disconcerting. You know she's lying through her back teeth. Everybody knows she's lying. The characters know that. Nobody is convinced that she's telling the truth. But it's the fact that she's scraping it on the china that makes it so threatening in this subtle way.
Yeah.
Like, if you took the scraping out, it would almost be semi-believable. It's that little scraping noise that tells you there is just no hint at something.
Yeah, I think at that point, they both know, they've both figured it out. Like, he's like, you're trying to do this, and she's like, you know I'm trying to do this.
Mhm.
And it's that kind of, you stay in the bed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And can we just take a moment to talk about the clay? The
Yeah.
red clay.
The red clay and how it, like, seeps into the snow and stuff.
Yeah, and it's just, like, oozing out of the walls, and, like,
everything, the house is sinking into red clay, and it's just...
And when you go to, when you see this house, it's everywhere. It just like, dripping out of the walls.
Even the ghosts are just pretty much red clay.
Yeah.
It's just, ooh.
There's even one scene where one of the ghosts slowly rises out, ever so achingly slowly rises out of a vat of red clay. And it's just chilling.
Well, on the subject of this, the snow seeping out the redness,
Yeah.
I think it was a little inconsistent, because when she fell off and Bash landed in that circle snow, the red started seeping up around her, but there after that point the snow wasn't red. But then again, that could be the snow coming down fresh. But still, I think it was inconsistent with that. But I don't know.
At this point, we're arguing pretty much arguing semantics.
Oh, and also, when the ghost became less of a threat, it was a bit like, oh, okay. But it was okay. Because there was real threat then. There was human threat.
Yeah, like,
it shifted from,
about
oh no, ghost to,
2/3 into the film, the ghosts stop being the problem. You start to realise what the ghosts are doing, and you realise that there is a bigger, separate threat going on.
Still scary as hell.
Oh, yeah. One I praised him earlier. His performance in this is great. One spoiler negative I can say is that I really can't enunciate why, but Charlie Hunnam's character in this seems slightly out of place.
The Doctor.
Yeah. Like, I can buy his character. His performance was great. The costume was great. Everything about his character was fine. It's just I don't know, maybe he wasn't quite the right actor for the job. I think perhaps they could have got someone who's just a bit more spindly looking to be the Doctor.
I don't know, I kind of liked him. I think
I kind of liked him, but I can't put my finger on why. Because there's nothing that's jumping out at me as wrong or bad but I can't figure out why. But I'm not sure I'm not sure if the casting choice was right, or something about his look didn't quite fit. And it's maddening because I can't narrow it down. I can't pinpoint a certain thing that's wrong.
That's like me with Matt Damon. I don't know why I don't like him. I just don't.
Yeah, I was like, I can't pinpoint what's wrong about this character. There's something just a little inconsistent given the whole scope of the film. And so I think that that concludes the 2D review for Crimson Peak.
I do advise seeing it. We advise seeing it.
Heartily advise seeing it. In fact, I'm
like Guillermo
del Toro.
Like Pan's Labyrinth, Hellboy, anything like that. Just you know what? Just go see this film. Thanks for watching.
Bye.